Here in Houston here with my buddy Jonathan Horton, 94.8 Fitness. Guys, today we're talking about balance and proprioception. Kind of a big word, but it's very important. John, what do you think about that?
Well, first thing that comes to mind when I think of balance and proprioception is being, I guess, in space. And for me, as a gymnast and you with your gymnastics, being able to have air awareness, I guess. In a fitness level, other than gymnastics, I don't have that great an understanding of how you can take balance and proprioception and use it for everyday life. That's why I'm excited to be here with you, because you work with everyday people, not just gymnasts.
Absolutely, guys. Proprioception is basically just awareness in space. Okay, being able to touch your nose without looking at it, being able to move around without having to look and seeing where you're going. I'm going to break it down, make it really easy, and have a little bit of fun with this one too. This is going to challenge you.
Yeah, and I think, when I'm thinking about it, Carrie, a lot of people probably don't even put any emphasis into their balance and proprioception. I know it's not something that I've thought of outside of a gymnastics world,
Right.
but it's something that I think impacts us every day. And you and I talked about it a little bit.
Right.
There's a lot to learn for your overall fitness. So if you're watching this video and thinking, I don't need balance and proprioception in my life, I think you do, and you're going to get a lot out of this video.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Proprioception is basically just your awareness in space, knowing how to move around without looking exactly where you're going, or knowing where your body is or how it functions without actually having to place it there. So a simple proprioception test is just being able to touch your nose, right? Being able to find it, but now close your eyes. Okay, can you still touch your nose exactly the point that you want to? Being able to actually move around and do things, your head, your nose, whatever, without looking at it, okay? Simple test. Another one. Can you stand on like one foot? This is balance. Now, close your eyes. Everything changes. Now the muscles have to work and function completely differently just to keep your body in that same place. Your muscles have to actually do the work. We're taking the senses away. That's what proprioception is. Taking the senses away, making the muscles do the work, and your body knowing where it is in space. So one of our tests is being able to stand on each foot. I want you to stand there with one leg for 1 minute and close your eyes and try not to touch this foot. If you touch this foot down, we're counting that as a point off, basically. If you hop, that's a point off. You can wiggle, you can check your balance like that, but you cannot touch that foot down. Your goal is 0 touches or balance checks in a minute. This is a great way to test your proprioception. Do it on your left and do it on your right. Most people have one leg or the other that's stronger than the other one. As well as it could be an imbalance somewhere. It could be in your back, it could be in your hip, it could be in your leg. But this real simple proprioception test and balance test will let you know. Starting to relate proprioception to different sports. There are a couple sports that are really naturally good at proprioception. Gymnasts, for once, because they're always flipping and twisting and having to know where they are in space and be able to land on their feet like a cat. Swimmers are also really good at this. I work with a lot of swimmers. And that's because their head is down and they're placing their hand where they're not looking. They just know that their hand and their arm and their leg is where it is because they're repeatedly doing this action, okay? So a little drill that we do is getting down on the ground and basically circling and not looking where this hand is and just kind of focusing on where am I putting my hand straight out, or is it across here, or is it over there, is my arm bent, is my arm straight? You're focusing on all these different angles and all these different positions, and have somebody coach you or look at you and say, is my arm straight right now? I can't tell you how many times that I'm working with people, and I'm saying straighten your elbows. And they're saying, Carrie, my arm is straight. I'm like, no, your elbow is not. Straighten the elbow. And they're like, it's straight. Okay, that's all proprioception. Awareness of what your body's doing in space. And it's so important because as we get older, if we lose this proprioception, along with losing our balance, we open ourselves up for lots of injuries, okay? If you stand up and you slip and fall, I mean, if you just like slip, but you catch yourself, you go on about your day. But if you slip and you fall as we get older, even just at like any age, you fall, that can lead to a major injury and it can ruin your day. Proprioception goes hand in hand with overall total health and fitness. So we're talking about balance and proprioception, right? So these are some different balance progressions that you can do. Little challenges like little drills. Okay, we have the BOSU trainer here. Then we have the little balance pad. We have a smaller balance pad here, right? So this is the BOSU upside down. It's a little bit easier. But what you want to do is put your foot right there in the middle, right? And then just stand up. You want to always think about being stacked or straight up and down. Anytime that you work on balancing, you want your body to be straight. You don't want to have your body bent over. Okay, you can keep your balance like this, but you're fighting yourself. When you stand up nice and tall, everything is naturally in line. The back of your head, your shoulders, your hips, and your heel. Okay, there's and all these little different muscles have to work. Your toe muscles are working there. Your ankles, your knees, your hips, everything is working in alignment. Now, take the same BOSU, flip it over. And now, it's going to feel completely different, like a whole different exercise to keep that same balance. See there? See how I'm having to check that? Okay? Now having to really work to keep that balance. Woo! Yeah. There you go. Get it back. Get nice and tall. My ankles are working like crazy. Keep that balance. Now, I'm going to come right over here to this little balance pad here. Okay? It's going to feel even different. And make sure you work on both feet, both legs, okay? Because you will probably I know I have one side that's weaker, okay? So, and everyone has that. It could be in your ankle, it could be in your knee. And a good way to work on this is to find a focal point. It's hard to just look all around because then you have too many things going on. When you're working on balance, you find a focal point, right? And then the proprioception, when you take that away, this is really hard to do with your eyes closed. This one is really hard, okay? See? Even for a person that's really in pretty good shape like myself, I struggle with that. Something that I need to keep on working on to make that better, okay? As soon as you can stand on one foot on the ground with your eyes closed, challenge yourself. Step on something that's going to be moving around. Improve the proprioception. It will help you with injuries, it will help you with your strength, with overall awareness. When you open your eyes, now you're so much stronger and so much better conditioned because you worked with your eyes closed. Okay, here's another one. This little small trainer here. You can also turn this over. And it's going to change it again. This one I find works your ankle a little bit more. Okay. These things look simple and you're not throwing around a bunch of weight, but I promise you, these are important for your injuries, to reduce injury, and to find those little bitty intrinsic small muscles that you tend to forget, to work on. These things will go get it.
All right, so that is a bunch of stuff about balance and proprioception. I love some of those exercises that Carrie just showed, simple stuff on the BOSU ball and the other things that you can balance on. And again, I think a lot of people don't emphasize these things in their training, as Carrie kind of alluded to. And I hear all the time about elderly people that stand up from a chair or a bed that lose their balance and they fall over, and it's hard to listen to. And I think a lot of it can be avoided as we get older by working on simple things like this. And it doesn't take a lot of time, right? There's some people, they spend 3 to 5 minutes every single workout doing some shoulder flexibility or working on their core. I think this is something very simple to add to your daily fitness for the long term as we all get older, because we're all going to get older, right?
Yeah, indeed. Well, again, just like John said, it's all about prevention, okay? Health and fitness is about how do you live the best life for you, and how do you prevent having some of these things? And yeah, by doing some of these simple drills, you can definitely give yourself the best opportunity for total health and fitness and a good life.
We will be back with more soon, so stay tuned. Make sure that you like and subscribe to 9408 Fitness. We'll see you soon.